Hello and welcome back to OT the podcast. We're here to talk about watches, time, and how to spend it. I am Andy Green, and with me,
I'm Felix Schultz. Sorry, I was just caught in a momentary existential crisis about how do we spend it, as in how do we spend time or watches. Anyway,
or money.
well, we don't talk about money. It's not in the line. It's watches, time, and how to spend it. So the money sort of
What is
inferred. Yeah, exactly.
What is it? What's been going on, Felix?
I got a new watch. And I'm practicing Tibetan throat singing.
What's going on, Felix?
I got a new watch.
What'd you get?
I got a Seiko, which is something that I'm always a big fan of my favorite Japanese brand, Seiko, Grand Seiko. This is the Seiko Prospex SPB147. Do you know immediately what that is?
Talk about spending it. Prospects, I've got a visual in mind.
Yeah, so it's a 40.5 mil diver based on their 62 Mars, which is their sort of first dive watch. It's the breakthrough affordable dive watch of 2020. James Stacey blew it up. He got the sort of the grey dial, but this is it's a bit richer in variant. It's sort of a chocolatey brown dial with gilt details, and I've popped it immediately on a sort of a beige nylon strap, which is pretty cool. It's a nice watch. I've had it a few days. It's got everything I like. Super hard coating on the steel, 70 hours power reserve. And do you know what my favourite things about Seiko are, Andy Green?
What's your favourite thing?
Drilled lugs. Love me a drilled lug.
Yeah, nice. You do love a drilled lug?
Yeah, gotta love a drilled lug. It's very sort of Tudor Black Bay 5080 in its sort of overall shtick.
I do like the case on it. It looks very tough.
Yeah, and it's sort of quite vintage in the silhouette. Like you can see, it's sort of been like stamped from one slab of metal, sort of thing. I'm enjoying it. That's the we'll see where it goes, but it's a good daily wearer. And but you got any new watches recently?
Business must be booming, Felix. Congratulations and welcome.
I'm just spending the OT profits, the OT millions.
Yeah. Oh, goodness me, the dividends. Have I got a new watch? Not this week that we're recording this, but hopefully soon.
By the time this airs, you probably will have.
I bloody hope so. And we'll link it up if I have.
Yeah, okay.
So this episode, as the title and description indicates, we have Jenni Elle coming back for some watch matchmaking. We're going to help her find a watch. Before we do that, I want to kind of bring up a few things. I know that you've liked something this week. We probably haven't had one of those segments in a little while. What I have liked, Felix, is it's a combination of two things, but it's a Vice.com article that took me over to an Instagram account. And the Instagram account is called AJ Soprano Shirts. Now, the article on Vice, it basically did a sort of top-line summary of what the sort of new metal shirts that AJ Soprano wore in the TV series,
The Sopranos,
what they'd be worth.
He was a young guy, like the kid, on Sopranos.
Yeah, he was the son.
Yeah, cool.
And so they got a vintage tea expert in who basically kind of looked at like various iconic photos from the series. He's wearing like a Pantera t-shirt. He's wearing like a
Fear Factory,
Ministry. Like a beanie, or a hoodie, or a Slipknot jacket. All these sort of new metal bands, because it was like sort of that rebellious
2000s.
Rebellious 2000s teenager with the mob boss father. And he just basically like worked out what that collection of t-shirts would be worth. And it's just sort of like fascinating to look back at, like, he was in character and sort of the vintage, well, not even that old.
New vintage for new metal.
Yeah, and just sort of the crazy market, like some of these t-shirts. And, they're like, the expert kind of says there's like 10,000 of this sort of t-shirt made, but they still go for like a couple $100.
It's all about condition.
On eBay. Yeah, and then there's sort of really sort of, it's interesting that there's bands that aren't around anymore. Like I think Pantera sort of broke up, and one of the lead singer, the front man, got a bunch of controversy.
Little white supremacy.
Yeah, a little bit of that sprinkled through his past, and I think the guitarist got murdered on stage, which is pretty terrible. But
really,
sort of stuff like that. There's the guitarist was like a deranged fan, kind of really horrible.
Hang on, Pantera.
Show. I think it was Pantera.
No, Pantera was Dimebag Darrell. He passed away, I think, from natural causes.
No,
Oh, really?
he was shot at
Dimebag?
a concert. Yeah,
No. Shocking.
yeah,
Anyway, we'll
yeah.
look this up.
3 other people.
Uh,
No, he did. Sorry to break your world. He
oh,
definitely was. He was
far
killed by
out.
a deranged fan.
What a
Sorry to
world.
do this to you, Felix. Yeah, terrible. Word.
Um,
Anyway, the Instagram account will link up, and we'll link up this Vice article. It's just like one of those
it's pretty
ideas that
cool.
you never really think about, and sort of it's just a cool thing to like. Oh, that's a different angle on.
Do you know what my immediate
On
reaction was when he said it to me?
what was that?
It was like, oh man, I had all those stuff. Like, I
Just
was
gave
like,
it
what?
away.
$500? Ridiculous. Like,
I remember watching a guy who's like he's made hundreds and hundreds of $1,000s a year, and he basically like sources vintage tees, like
is he into
vintage
like Grateful
Nirvana
Dead? Is he a
tees.
Grateful Dead t-shirt guy?
He has stacks and stacks,
Yeah.
and they're like ratty, but he sources them for people like Kanye. And whenever you see like Kanye get out with like a really cool vintage tee, he's probably paid like $2,000 or $3,000 for it to this guy. But his whole thing is like cruising around, and he's just the absolute plug for vintage tees. I'll have to find where I saw it, but it was one of those like obscure YouTube
I was
videos.
disappointed by the lack of Sepultura. Sepultura had some quality tees, and anyway.
Explaining a lot about your youth here, Felix.
Mate, regional Victoria, mid 2000s. What's not to know? I've been liking something as well, Andy Green. And
what have you liked?
Aside from 6 Sepultura tees from 2004 that I should have kept. Mine's a bit different. It's a thing called What 3 Words. Have you ever heard of this?
No, okay. I haven't.
So, to quote the Wikipedia article, What 3 Words is a geocode system for the communication of locations with a resolution of 3 meters. What 3 Words encodes geographic coordinates into 3 dictionary words. Do you know what this is yet?
Okay, that's cool.
So
that's cool. So you can do an address using 3 words.
Yeah. So there's a few things you can do. Like, so there's it can be an address, which is really useful for like convoluted apartment buildings and stuff. It's much more accurate to have something sort of bounded to GPS rather than level 4, suite T, building C, this address.
Yeah.
So there's maybe less room for error. Also really useful potentially for things like if you need to be rescued or if you need to share your location, say, at a festival. You can say, instead of like saying, oh, I'm near the food truck, you could say, I'm at Sasquatch banana glasses.
Okay, where are you going to send me when I do that?
I don't know. But I've done 2 addresses. So do you want to know what the address for 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, Northwest Washington, D.C., US is?
I do.
Do you know what that address is normally?
That's the White House.
Yeah. So I worked out what the middle of the Oval Office of the White House is. It's Score Latter Loving.
Okay.
So you normally do.
Loving.
Well, it's all sort of randomly algorithm stuff, but you kind of do wonder. Do you have you ever wondered where Neat Pirate Moon is?
Neat Pirate Moon. Where is Neat Pirate Moon?
That's a Melbourne Rolex Service Centre.
Is it?
Apparently. But the cool thing is, I think it's somewhere like Mongolia or like maybe Kazakhstan. You can use like the postal system will accept mail addressed like this.
So I tell you what, Felix. Yeah. This is. I've been handwriting all of our sticker orders, and if I had known this whole time, I could just write
3
Neat
words.
Pirate Moon. The guys at Rolex HQ would be receiving their sticker orders so much quicker.
As would President Trump, perhaps.
Well, I think he actually got his before the guys in Melbourne did, so he's a big fan.
Oh. So I think that's what I've been liking. We'll obviously link that little bit of weirdness up. But before we get on to the next stage of proceedings, Andy Green, what do we need to do?
We need to take a quick break, grab a coffee, settle in, because we are going to get Jenni on the phone. Today's episode of OT the Podcast is brought to you by William Wood Watches.
William Wood are a smaller independent brand. They're based in the UK and they've been around for a few years now.
What sets William Wood apart is their design ties to the firefighting service stemming from the founder's connection.
So they're named after William Wood, who's the founder's grandfather. He was a legit firefighter and had a bunch of accolades. And the watches incorporate some nice firefighting touches.
Like their logo, which is an old-style firefighter's helmet, but the really cool part, the straps seen on their Valiant collection, which are made up
from upcycled British fire hoses.
Yeah, I also thought the crown was really cool. It's been made
Mm.
from a fire brigade brass helmet that dates back to the 1920s.
Their Valiant collection is the Divers range. It's water resistant up to 100 meters and powered by your choice of Swiss or Japanese movements. Now, those straps I mentioned, Felix.
Yeah, so aside from being sustainable, they are made from upcycled fire hoses that would otherwise have been tossed aside.
Super cool. And we've actually been wearing a piece from the collection each. I've been wearing the red watch, which comes on a matching red rubber strap.
And I've gone for the Rose Watch with the yellow rubber strap. It's a classic style diver. It's got a nice sandwich dial, and there's some cool two-tone elements going on. How are you liking that strap, Andy?
What surprised me is the unique details, which makes sense as every strap is slightly different, making it feel a little bit more special. It retains a smokiness to it as well, which is pretty cool.
Certainly something different. I think they're really comfortable, and I can see them working on a bunch of watches, which is kind of good because you can buy them separately.
Speaking of, the Valiant collection features a quick change spring bar on both the rubber and the bracelet straps. How good.
Makes changing them easy peasy.
And I have to mention the military fire hose strap, which is a khaki green, right up my alley.
Did you see they also released a bronze edition that should be ready early 2021?
I did, man. It's going to look cool worn in and patinaed up.
Indeed. Now, time for something a little bit more serious.
William Wood caught our attention earlier this year when they donated a watch in support of the Australian bushfires, and that individual piece raised $4,800.
Being based in Melbourne, that's a pretty important cause for us and for William Wood. And that amount is much more than the retail price of a William Wood Valiant.
Correct. Price between $695 and $995 Great British pounds, or roughly 1,500 to 2,000 Aussie dollars, depending on which movement you go with.
And how many extra straps you buy.
So if you're in the market for a new diver, check out William Wood Watches, who are upcycling service materials for a new life on wrist. Once forgotten, now reborn.
When you buy a William Wood watch, you're not just buying a great watch, you're also giving back to firefighting communities that really need our support now more than ever. This year so far, they've raised over 10,000 United States dollars for international firefighting charities. They also donate to firefighting charities in the UK with every sale.
For more info or to purchase one of their timepieces or unique straps, visit williamwoodwatches.com. Now let's get back to the show.
Let's not waste any more time, Andy. Let's get Jenni Elle on the line. Well, we have the one and only Jenni Elle back. As we promised, as we discussed at the end of our last interview with Jenni, I can't remember what episode it is. We'll definitely link to it. She was talking about her need for a new watch. So, Andy, we thought we would make that happen, and we've come up with a few suggestions. And we're doing this in a nice twist. We've got Jenni Elle live on the line to critique and tell us how terrible our suggestions are. How good is that, Andy Green?
It's amazing. Real-time feedback is very important, Felix. Jenni Elle, welcome back.
Thank you for having me back. I'm so excited to see what you guys have picked.
It is honestly our pleasure. It was a lot of fun last time. People seem to really enjoy that episode. We're still riding that traffic wave, if we're honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm happy. That makes me happy.
We got mentioned on Jenni Elle's Cartier video, and I think we just blew up.
Mhm.
We've had offers. I've got Hollywood roles coming up now.
Legitimately, though, I like to watch the countries that people listen to us in. And I message Felix every single time we pick up a country that I haven't seen before. And so I think after you posted that video...
I feel you should also mention that you don't contextualize it. So I'll just get a text at 4 a.m. saying, Virgin Islands.
Oh,
that might have been this morning. Thank you, Richard, for listening. But we had a few like really interesting countries pop up as a result. And it was like Senegal, Uruguay... but my favorite was the Democratic Republic of Congo. And then Felix pointed out that potentially we're in a warlord's WhatsApp chat group about watches, and we're just bouncing around there now.
Oh my.
So thank you, Jenni Elle.
You're very welcome.
We also picked up Haiti as well. So it was like Haiti, DRC, and Senegal. And another
Nice.
large drug producing nation. So, welcome to all our cartel friends.
Yeah, welcome, guys.
If you've got a business that wants to reach any of the cartels, we'll send you through a media kit. All right, so Jenny,
Andy, let's recap the budget. Let's move off the legally risky talk.
Add a couple of zeros. Yeah, we add a couple of zeros. Jenny, when you were on last time, so it was episode 32, Felix.
Oh, yeah,
you mentioned sort of a watch you were looking at. I'll recap on what you kind of said based on my memory, and probably you've forgotten now as well. But you said you had €4,000 to spend, which translates to roughly sort of $7 Australian dollars, just to kind of put a bit of perspective to the listeners. 7,000. Yeah, call it 7. You said it. You initially went out looking for a Cartier tank, but you scratched that itch with that Seiko that you picked up. So it was sort of still looking at those sort of 90-degree angles and that sort of rectangular shape, but you kind of had the tank ticked off the list now. You still wanted something dressy. No chronos, no divers. That was very specific. And I've just remembered that now. Great. So you also wanted something that was a bit of more of a romantic looker, and you were giving us extra points for moon phases and for small seconds.
Yes. Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I've got 2 points. Like, in doing our research for this, Andy and I had a bit of a chat, and there's 2 watches because of budget that are missing from this, but I really think they should be the ones that you go for. Maybe you just save up for another few more years and get yourself a Lange Cabaret. That's the first one.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm just saying. Oh, the
what
whole
have you done, Felix?
Or which is their sort of it's discontinued now, but it's a lovely, beautiful, beautiful square watch. One of their first ones they released, I think, was 93. They released the Cabaret. Classic, elegant, everything you want, done. Bit more expensive. If not, another sort of interesting one that I thought came up a bit would be a Rolex Cellini Prince or an older Rolex Prince. Again, can't afford it.
I've seen a Prince last year at an AD. He is like a certified pre-owned dealer. And I thought that one looked so interesting. Oh, those were nice choices for the out-of-budget selection.
It's all downhill from
Very
here.
good.
And there's more to break the budget. So, Felix, I might kick things off.
Take it away.
I'm going to send over the first pick to Jenni Elle, so she's got a visual. But I've stuck sort of really at the bottom of the budget. I'm going for a Nomos.
Oh yes! Oh my god!
Oh, that's a good reaction. Yeah. Okay, Felix off to a strong start. Relax, Felix. Calm down. Nomos Tetra 27 carat. So coming in at 2,700 Australian dollars. I thought the polished gold dial was really interesting. It's not a rectangle, but you've got the sort of the Seiko now.
Is a square technically is a rectangle, I think.
I think it respects the 90-degree angle.
Yeah,
kind of
I think
rule.
It does.
In hard geometry, squares are a type of rectangle. I'm calling it.
Okay. All right, fine. You're the authority here on angles. It's got that highly desired small seconds feature that you wanted. Obviously, a German brand that we all like a lot. I think the size is sort of perfect. It's sort of 27.5 by 27.5. So it's a nice sort of elegant proportion for you. The straps at 18 mils, so you can find other ones to put it on quite easily.
Good point.
And I think the price that's a good sort of price to start at. What do you think of the first choice?
I really like it. I have to say though, I think I would be interested to hear what made you choose that dial color instead of the others.
I want to say there was sort of modern that sort of fit in with the, I guess, Nomos ethos. Like, I mean, there are so many colors you could go like the they have the more like pastel-y vibes and the brighter sort of color schemes. And then I thought this is sort of elegant. And you said romantic.
Dress.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
You said romantic, and I thought, well, polished gold. It's not something you see all the time. And when I think Jenni Elle, I think polished gold, like all class.
Thank you. Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask. But that was a very nice explanation. So I'm very happy with the first one. That's actually like, honestly, I'm excited.
We can just stop recording now. We're done. Andy, nailed it.
Thank you for the Nomos.
Awesome. We'll send it over. All right. My second choice is something blue that I'm blowing the
Oh,
budget with.
wow.
Yeah. Okay, so
There
this
we
is the
go.
yeah, we're cooking with gas now. This is the Patek Nautilus Ellipse. Reference 3770. So it's otherwise called the Natalips.
Nautilips?
Nautilips,
Oh,
Ellipse.
it's like a word play on ellipse and nautilus.
Yeah, I guess.
Nautilus.
It's a pretty stupid nickname if you're asking me.
Well, it's sort of to paint the visual picture, it's sort of like David Blaine grabbed sort of two of like Patek's most iconic watches and sort of ripped them into pieces, and then snapped his fingers, and this model was born. And it's two-tone. It's got a black dial. It's from the 1980s, so we've gone vintage. 35 millimeter, really good size for a watch like this, in my opinion. I am sorry about the price. This is 15,000 euros.
It's also quartz.
Oh wow!
It is quartz.
Oh, is it?
Quartz.
Okay, good. And it looks like it has headphones on.
Beats by PP.
Yeah. But
crystal clear audio.
Is it also a two-tone dial? Is the center darker than the outside? Is it like a sunburst on the outside? Oh.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff happening on the dial. Look, I think
that's really
it's a cool choice. It's pretty quirky. It is very expensive, but yeah, Christmas is coming up.
Yeah, I like that it's quirky.
Okay. Well, if you like quirky, wait till mine.
He's all quirk. All right. I think the last one is what I'm nicknaming the box ticker. I've taken Felix's habit. So this is the B&M Hampton, priced at 39.50 Aussie dollars. So again, really low in terms of budget. Getting a brand new watch, automatic, 50 meters water resistance, got 42-hour power reserve, powered by Swiss movement, small seconds, date. It's more rectangle than sort of my other picks, obviously. Arabic numerals. It's got those nice sort of riveted look to them. The indices are riveted as well. It's pretty classy. I think it's a cool choice if you want to tick all the boxes and get something new.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like the sword style hands. I like those a lot from Cartier. Though I'm not sure who came first. If it's Baume & Mercier or Cartier, I don't know.
We'll have to check. I'm not going to make a comment publicly.
Me neither.
Probably some anonymous watchmaker that they both were inspired by at some point.
It's probably Cartier, wasn't it? Because they've been around for quite some time. I'm not saying they invented sword style hands, but
surely your grandma will have that information on hand.
I will get back to her. And
there might be some other archival films.
Let's see if I can pull something up.
Maybe of her fencing with some sword style hands. Just
a
suggestion.
That's how she got the idea. Yeah.
So
I love it.
Shall we segue? Speaking of Cartier and sword style hands, Andy, is it a good time to segue into my three selects?
Boom! I'm sending it over.
Okay.
Woof. Okay.
So I know you said no Cartier tonks, but this is kind of a special Cartier. So I've selected the Cartier tank Masculante, which I like to call the quirky tank. If you're not familiar with it's kind of like a reverso, except there's a crown at 12 and you flip the inner case up and you can turn the main part of the watch around for a solid back. This one it's from 2003. It's quite small. I didn't actually write the size down, but it's quite small. It's quartz and it's 3,600 Australian dollars. So very much a reasonable choice. And you don't see a lot of them.
32 by 22 mil.
Yeah, okay. And you don't see too many of them, and they're super cool.
They are really cool. Oh, I love that you thought of this one. Oh, this one makes me so happy.
Yeah, so you're across this, and you would maybe consider this one.
Yeah, for sure. I've looked at this one. I've seen some online, some pre-owned ones that I've really enjoyed. I feel like the dial, the numbers, the Arabic numerals are very Art Deco. I really like that.
The whole thing.
If that's Art Deco, I don't know.
I'm a little bit surprised that that's 2003. It looks I was expected to be more vintage, Felix.
Well, I think Cartier have done reissues from sort of the late 90s. They've done really faithful vintage sort of pieces. It's such a big brand. They sort of sneak all sorts of different pieces in, and some of them go under the radar for a while. Like there's one I think I've seen a Basculin to moon phase that I was looking for, but they also get quite expensive quite quickly. So this is a sort of a middle ground, I thought. If you like the quirkiness of this one,
and the black dial is also nice.
I think you might like my second one or hate it. It's got to go one of the
over.
two ways. Send it over, Andy.
I'm gonna have to send 2 photos because the bracelet on this is interesting.
It's like an aquanaut sort of dial continued onto the bracelet.
Before we do the reveal, have you seen this watch before, Jenni Elle?
I have never seen this Piaget before. Sorry, did I?
You did, but that's okay. So this is a watch. This is one of my favorite weird watches. It's called the Piaget Upstream, and it was sort of it's a really quite an odd watch. So they did the Polo S a couple of years ago, and that was like their steel sports watch. This was the first steel watch Piaget had made for 50 years, and it was released in the year 2000. It's a bit weird that I've gone with steel sports watch for your request for a rectangular dressy watch, but it's I think you can pull it off. It's a sort of a tonneau-shaped case on a very beautiful bracelet. Piaget do really lovely bracelets, and they punch well above their weight on the bracelet front. But the interesting thing about this is, and I hope Andy sent through a picture, is that there's no clasp on the bracelet. You have to lift up the bezel. So the bezel operates as the clasp. And
oh, wow.
It's very unusual. It's also, because it's super 2000s in style, fairly accessible. This one's sort of at the 6,000 Aussie, so within budget still. Well sized, so 33 by 34.5 mil, 9 millimeters thick, and it's good quality. It's got a Piaget movement in there. There's also a really, really great salmon dial, which I would make it more
salmon upstream.
There you go, Piaget Upstream.
Dial. Wow, that's a very interesting choice. I like the crown guards a lot.
Yeah, it's got that sort of those polo. That whatever they call that thing that goes across the middle. I can't remember. There's a word for it, but the brancards or something. I don't know. So that's my weird choice. That's proper weird. And for my third and final choice, I've kept it very traditional, very safe, and very beautiful.
All right, it's coming. While I send it over, just a quick note on that bracelet. That'd be very well balanced because you'd obviously take links out only on the one end, wouldn't you? Interesting.
Yeah, I think like in terms of the what you get for the money, like it's Piaget. The Piaget can make great stuff, and especially then, like it's the style is sort of maybe not current today, but I think it's a really good choice. I like it. I'll get it if you don't. Have you sent through the third one, Andy?
Yeah, that gasp earlier was.
This is another one. Another one from around the year 2000. Surprisingly, a Vacheron Constantin Historique. So it's rectangular, super simple, really sort of 1930s teardrop shaped sort of lugs, small seconds, 26 mil by 31 mil. So smaller size, manual movement. 8,500 Australian dollars, slightly above budget, but pink gold.
But we all is responsible, so that's all right. Wow. Okay, that one looks beautiful. I love the hour markers. They look stunning. It looks like on the picture. It looks so smooth and so soft. Wow, I really like this one. I need to zoom in and take it. Wow, you guys, that was. Man, you've made it very difficult for me to choose. I
think I started strong, and I think Felix has finished strong on that one because he did slip the small seconds in. On that oh, that is tough. Precious metal too.
That's what I thought. You get a lot of. It's a lot of watch. It's like big brand, big name, small case, rectangular. So
it looks. I love like that. It looks so milky on the dial. I really like.
Yeah, it's pretty classy. I mean, that's probably
a very great picture.
As well. Yeah.
What is the dial made of, Felix?
I'm going to say it's brass with some sort of lacquer over the top. Nothing fancy, I don't think.
Yeah, okay. It's just a nice looking champagne dial.
It's ivory, I think. Maybe.
Ooh.
Listings are champagne.
Yeah, listings on Chrono 24, man. They're crazy. Don't trust listings. Anyway, so
Wow,
Jenni Elle,
wow, wow.
which of Andy's do you like the most?
I think the Nomos to me is an absolute no-brainer. That was my favorite from
100% agree.
Andy's. It's I love it. I think I've seen one before, and they've got some great colors on the Tetra. And I think it's so cool that they were quite. I mean, they look rather big on the wrist. Like I know there's like smaller and bigger sizes on there, but I like how it's a very unapologetically square kind of watch, and I really like that about the Tetras. So that was a great choice. I really like it.
That warms my soul. And what about Felix's 3 quirky choices? Which did you prefer?
Oh, so I think they're all very great. And they all got some sort of twist to them, which is really nice. Felix, you've made it a bit more difficult because I'm very can't decide between the Cartier and the Vacheron Constantin because they're both very nice. But I think if I had to really, like, if someone put a gun to my head and said, choose, Jenni, I would probably go for. I'm a sucker for Cartier. I'm going to go for the Cartier.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm a bit surprised by that.
Yeah, what would you think?
Well, I would have thought like because for not, I mean, it's a little bit over budget, the VC, but you do get like one of them's Cartier, it's quartz, and it's sort of a bit weird. The other one's gold, Vacheron Constantin, and very, very classic. So yeah, I would have gone the Piaget of those 3, to be honest. But it's not my watch, so it's all yours. So there we go.
It's not your money either to spend.
Yeah, exactly. And of the two, between the Cartier and the Nomos, which one would you, if again forced, choose?
Nomos.
Nice.
Oh,
agreed.
That came quick.
Answer.
Yeah, always Nomos.
Quick.
Yeah,
that's
probably.
how you know. Would you like that dial, or would there be a different dial you'd choose from the Tetra range?
I think I would go for the Grenadine. It's
Okay.
some sort. It's like a pinkish, orangey sort of color. It's hard to describe, but it's very like fresh looking.
nice.
I think it's a very. I don't want to say girly, but given the color schemes and everything, it feels very. It reminds me of like Barbie.
Are you saying that pink is for girls, Jenni?
No, I'm not saying that. I was just saying that it reminds me of a doll that I had, and she was wearing shoes with the same color, and that's what I associate it with.
Lovely. It is that I did nearly choose that sort of more sort of grenadine color for you, and then I just thought, no, this is class.
So
like this
is very classy. This one, see, like future Jenni would probably go for your color, but today Jenni would go for the more crazy ones.
Yep.
Live in the now. And it's funny you sort of talk about the coloured dials. Obviously, while we have you, it would be remiss not to discuss the new Rolex releases that sort of came out not long after we spoke.
Oh yeah, what a day that was.
Yeah, it was chaos.
So Jenni, on the day that those were released, what did it look like for you? Were you like sort of rushing to get something out, or were you? Is this one of those sort of things where on YouTube it matters to be first?
Well, I would say it does matter if you provide like actual like good content, then it's really important that you're first. If you're just going to, that thing was that we thought it was going to come out at 12 a.m. like noon, and it came out like at 12 like in the night, and so we woke up to the new releases. We're like, shoot, we messed that one up. But so yeah, we packed our stuff and headed over to the studio and just sat down, and that was just like, I don't really remember that day properly. It's like a blur because we were just trying to get it done. I would say it does matter if you're first or first-ish. If you wait too long, I think then people are just, people were so over those new releases so quickly. I mean, the Facebook groups were full of like these moaning myrtles complaining about all these pictures.
It's like 30 minutes of excitement and then 3 weeks of moaning. So aside from the actual time of the release, what was your biggest surprise on the day?
Our biggest surprise, I think, the Oyster Perpetuals, the colorful dials were my biggest surprise, and that they decided to like scratch the 39mm size. I was very surprised by that. Kind of the size politics that they went for. I was like, oof, okay, is that what you're doing now?
What's your favorite color of the lot?
So I think in my video I said I was undecisive between the pink and the turquoise, but I think now I'm full on the turquoise team.
Interesting.
Really like it.
Very interesting.
What did you guys? What did you like best?
Okay. All right. Well, I really like the candy pink 36.
Mm-hmm.
I also really like the candy pink, but I think I would probably go the turquoise. But either or.
Playing it safe.
If anyone, for Christmas, if anyone wanted to get me either or, I would be more than happy to wear it. But for me, either or. I would have liked to see a 41. Actually, I would have liked to see 39. You're right. I think 41's a bit.
39 would have been good. Yeah. The 41 looks big on. The 36 looks great. I've seen side by side with sort of a 36 and a sort of the older Submariner case or an older GMT, and they look pretty similar in size. Like I think it's a bigger wearing 36.
Can you not put a deposit? Can you not put yourself on a list in Germany? Is that?
Well, it's not really a list. I want to say you basically just go there, and you just say that you're interested in something, and then they're going to write down your contacts. But I think list is the wrong word because it implies that there's like a first place and last place. They're just going to see whoever wants that watch and decide. It's like
what if you say, I want this watch and here is a 20% deposit? Will they accept that?
No, I don't think so. That's
no.
Isn't that sort of like semi-illegal to do that?
I don't know. Honestly, it's not.
I know if they can't deliver it, they tend to only take deposits on stock that they have. So say there's stock and you can't go pick it up for a week or 2 or 3 weeks.
Securing it for you.
Yeah, you secure it.
We've got one for you. We'll hold it for you if you. Yeah, okay, cool. Anyway, that's off topic. Watches.
Have you been hands-on with any of them, Jenny?
I've held the Cermet, and can I please say, I know people call it the Starbucks, and I've had so many comments on my videos saying like, this is not a Cermet, it's like pronounced K like Kermit. I'm like, you did not get it. It's a ceramic bezel. That's why I'm calling it a Cermet. So please, you guys, I'm not
YouTube comments are the worst.
wrong way. Yeah, sometimes they can be. And I've held I've had the 41 Oyster Perpetual, the one with the silver dial and the gold accents, and the Submariners I've held and sort of compared to the old ones. Let's put it that way. And
how did it stack up?
On it, like I mean, it's really not that big of a difference, to be honest. At least not to me. I don't know. Maybe I don't have the eye for it, but. It's a new color, if you can say it. Not really new. It's just
slightly different.
The Hulk bezel on a black dial, and then the Submariners just with some more elegant, perhaps looking lugs. But
does it sort of fundamentally for you feel the same on the wrist?
Well, see. I was when I put it on, I was like, oh, it sort of looks better, I think, but that might just be because everyone says that it's supposed to look better. I don't know if I'm a bit biased on that, and if no one would have told me that this is a new case, I don't know if I would have picked it up. Honestly.
I agree. Not that we've seen it. We're in a really unusual situation where you can't, like, we're obviously homebound at the moment. So, other parts of the country, press and dealers have not only received the stock, they're selling it, but we're sort of still in that lockdown phase. And it's really unusual for us to be like, have something come out, be available, but we just can't go see it. And it's interesting to sort of see the original the noise about it and how sort of the world went crazy over a millimeter, and then it was, just the impact of what a millimeter has on these watches. But yeah, I think in typical Rolex fashion, as you mentioned, sort of no one really knew when it was coming. We knew it was coming on the day. We didn't know what time zone it would be. Even if we knew the time zone, we didn't know what time of day it was going to be.
Exciting.
It's always exciting, and I mean, they stole the show regardless.
They did.
What did you think? Quickly, what did you think of the Sky Dwellers on the Oyster Flex?
I was very surprised by that because I thought they would go for a different direction with the Sky Dwellers. I thought, I mean, they're not in the professional line, aren't they? So it was a bit of a surprise to see them on a Oyster Flex, but I don't mind it. It kind of takes away, I want to say, a bit from the elegance of a Sky Dweller. But I mean, I would not wear one either way because it's just too big. It's huge. It's thick. So it's not for me, anyways.
I think it makes sense. I think it's for like if you want a really big gold sort of Rolex, but maybe less bracelet. I think it's a natural evolution, I suppose.
Yeah. I don't mind it. It looks a bit strange, but not in a bad way. It's just unusual.
Love it. Well, Jenni Elle, we're wrapping out the year, and while we've got you on the line, it'd be, if there's anything that you've got planned for the next couple of months of 2020 or 2021 that you want to flag for the listeners now, we'd love to hear it.
Oh my! Do I have anything planned? That's the thing. No, you can expect business as usual. I'm trying to work on a bit more creative things for my videos. I mean, I did recruit my grandma, my great-great-grandma for one of mine, so I'm planning to do a lot more fun things around watches and see what else is there in terms of how to review a watch without making it boring. So
wow, that's the
stay tuned, everybody.
$64,000 question, isn't
it?
Well, we love that, and yeah, obviously we've had you on before, and the feedback almost immediately, overwhelmingly, was you need to make Jenni Elle a regular on the show. She's a breath of fresh air. She's funny.
I'd love to.
Yeah, so it's. I don't think this will be the second last time you'll be hearing from Jenni Elle. Felix, have you got anything else before we let?
No, I don't. Not really. I think. I mean, I'm still processing the fact that no one wanted to buy the Piaget Upstream. But aside from that,
that's a weird name for a watch. That's a weird name for a watch, especially with the salmon dial.
Maybe that I never put that together.
Salmon swim upstream, right?
Oh dear, yeah. There was a bear, and there was a bear on the marketing logo. And no, I think just the normal stuff we do at the end of a show, Andy, which is thank everyone.
Yeah,
I think
we can do that after. We can let Jenni get on.
Well, you don't want to thank people now? Maybe we get Jenni to thank people.
Oh, who am I? Elle. I'm just going to say thank you to everyone who listens, honestly.
Nice.
That's the coolest thing ever.
We love it. All right, Jenni Elle. Well, we'll let you get away, and I believe you've got some bags packed and have a trip to take.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you. Thanks again for having me, and see you next time, or hear you next time.
Yeah, get out of here.
Bye.
See ya.
Felix,
Andy.
It is, it's a treat having Jenni Elle on. I think we need to just do that as often as possible. And like she said, thank you everyone for listening. Thank you to the sponsors that, support the show, support us, support our sponsors, or buy some stickers. Thank you to Major Tom Media, as always, for putting this together.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you to Jenni.
Yep. Anyone else we need
to thank?
You,
Felix.
The Academy.
The Academy. The music comes on. We always get the music at this point anyway. Thank you everyone for listening.
Emails. Emails? What are emails?
otthepodcast@gmail.com. What's our Insta?
At ot.podcast. I don't have our 3-word address. It's probably, let's go watch Nerds United. That'll probably set it to Uzbekistan.
Podcast. Yeah. Our friends in Congo. Love that. All right. Next time.
Bye.